The drum beat in that open reminds me of the word that we're getting this week, just rapid fire all week, just rapid fire word coming at us all this week, and it's been great. Hello everybody, welcome to Friday night here at the Southwest Believers Convention. This is Southwest Live, and we're going to be with you the next 30 minutes, bringing you lots of great information and some great guests and some segments that I have no idea what they're going to sound or look like, but Greg Stevens is going to be doing those, so if they don't turn out right, it's his fault anyway. So, in fact, I want to go to Greg Stevens right now, and I think he's in the auditorium. Greg, is that where you are?
Well, I am inside the auditorium right now. You can see the stage in the background. People are starting to file in. They've just opened the doors. But I want to run around and let you meet some of the people, the faithful that have been here all week long. Hi, what's your name?
Hi, my name is Bonnie.
Bonnie, where are you from?
Phoenix, Arizona.
Phoenix, Arizona. What's your name?
My name is Anna.
And where are you from?
I'm from Oregon.
Oregon. And?
I'm her husband, Jim. We're from Redmond, Oregon.
Redmond, Oregon. Perfect. Let's go look at some other people here real quick. Excuse me, ma'am. Where are you from? What's your name?
Caroline. I'm from Northern California.
From Northern Carolina. Caroline, let's go back here. Hello, what's your name?
Abby Meadows.
Where are you from?
Overland Park, Kansas.
Overland Park, Kansas. And you're from Kansas too? What's your name?
Meadows, Overland Park,
Are
Kansas.
you guys loving it so far this week?
Marvelous.
What's your most memorable moment?
The first time ever being here.
This is your first trip to Southwest. This week. Has it lived up to expectation? Awesome. Let's go ahead and talk some more. Let me interrupt. Hi, what's your name? Where are you from?
I'm from Maryland.
From Maryland. Is this your first time at Southwest?
Yes.
First time.
Yes.
So what do you think?
It was phenomenal.
So what's one moment? Give me one moment.
On Thursday when we were singing, the power and the vibration of that, it was amazing. It was wonderful.
Awesome. What's your name?
Susan, I'm from Fort Worth.
A local. Yes. So you've been here before? Awesome. We got a minute left. What's your name?
Levon.
Levon, where are you from?
Neosho.
Neosho, Missouri.
Southwest Missouri.
Southwest Missouri.
Yes, we hadn't been there long, but we moved there, and we've been in Alaska for a number of years. We've been partnered with Kenan and Gloria Copeland.
Okay, so what you came here. Now, have you been here all week?
No.
When did you get here?
Today.
Just a few minutes ago.
They got here just a few minutes ago. This is their first night. Why did you come now? You've been watching all week, right?
At home on TV.
So they're where you were and watching all week. He told me just a second ago they're here for healing school tomorrow. So we got just a few seconds. Let me go just 1 second. Hi, your name? Where are you from?
Veronica from Tucson, Arizona.
Tucson, Arizona.
Joy from Tucson.
Tucson. So it's getting exciting. People coming in here, getting ready for prayer. And so, Tim, I want to kick it back to you for some wonderful interviews back in the exhibit hall. Back to you, Tim.
All right, Greg, thank you very much. That is so much fun to do that kind of thing. Listen to where people are from. A lot of people from the West Coast. That's really great. That's a long drive. If you don't fly, that's a long drive, and I hope most of those folks flew here. So I am joined now by a gentleman that if you're an E-member of the Eagle Mountain International Church, you're going to recognize this gentleman. You're going to know who he is. Not only is he the director, associate pastor, senior associate pastor of education at Eagle Mountain.
It's a mouthful.
Boy, it's a mouthful. But he's also the chief academic officer of the new Kenneth Copeland Bible College. Dr. Tony Irby, how are you, sir?
Doing great.
Good to
Thank
have
you
you
so
here.
much, Tim.
All right, now, as if you weren't busy enough at the church, now you've got this Bible College thing.
Absolutely.
Tell us about the Bible College.
Bible College started actually at least 15 years ago, although we're just now coming to fruition now. When I first came here, which the ministry is now 50 years old, so 35 years into the ministry, one of the questions I asked, I said, well, what about a Bible college? You know, I mean, you have 35 years of material and people here that come every year to conventions and that, and why don't we just train them, you know, in our own Bible college? And I was an educator. I came as an educator, public school educator.
Oh, wow.
And, well, we'll just see, you know, and so we talked on and off, year after year after year after year. We started our Believers Institute, which was our for our lay congregation, that those people who are basically at the church and in the community,
right,
but not an official Bible school, although we call it Believers Institute. But you know, the Bible talks about in Ecclesiastes, there's a time and a season for everything.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes, sir.
as we started moving up toward this 50th year, it became apparent that it was time and season for this new voice for the next 50 years,
Oh, my
if you
goodness.
will.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Brother Copeland's big on every available voice. And so from radio to tapes to VHS to CDs, DVDs, internet, and finally we culminated really this first 50 years with the Believer's Voice of Victory Network. And so what will be that next voice?
Yeah.
We believe it's Kenneth Copeland Bible College.
Wow. And I know you guys have been at the booth this week. We have
Yes,
a booth
sir.
here in the exhibit hall, and you've been at the booth this week. What are people saying about it?
People are so excited. They're saying it's about time. Finally, we've been believing. You'd be surprised at how many people said, I've been thinking about Bible college. I've looked here, here, and here. And I just happened to go online and through our accrediting agency, and they said, Copeland Bible College. They said, is that Kenneth Copeland Bible College? They're like, and so people have been, literally thousands of people have been by the booth, and we've had information sessions, and hundreds have come to that to learn more about the Bible College. We're excited. Now, they are excited, and all we need is fall 2018 to come.
What is it about this Bible college that makes it unique in your mind?
Three things I would say.
Okay.
I would say, first of all, what makes it unique is that, Bible college can be Bible college. You can learn theology anywhere. You can learn about the Bible. Okay, but you can't go anywhere and learn the Bible through the lens of Brother Copeland.
Yeah.
In other words, through the lens of what I would call the blessing, our heritage of faith. That's the spin that makes us unique in terms of Bible college education.
Yeah.
And so, to me, that's the one thing. The second thing I think that will make us unique, Tim, is the fact that Brother Copeland is known for lots and lots of things. Great preacher, great teacher, great singer, but he's known for two other things. He's known for integrity and excellence.
Yes.
And if you ask anybody anywhere, they'll say that about him. And because he's known for that, so are we, Kenneth Copeland Ministries.
Sure.
We're known for operating in integrity and excellence. And we believe that the students that will come through, matriculate through Kenneth Copeland Bible College, they will be graduates that will exude what Brother Copeland has for these 50 plus years, and that is operating ministry in integrity and excellence.
What did you know about Kenneth Copeland Ministries in Eagle Mountain Church before you came here?
Before I came, I can tell you that. That's a good one. Because I went to Rhema Bible Training Center.
Oh, my.
So I was affiliated with Kenneth Hagin Ministries.
Sure.
And of course, Kenneth Hagin would talk about Brother Copeland. Brother Copeland would talk about Kenneth Hagin. And so we ended up there because they did have a Bible school.
Right.
This was in the very, very early 90s.
Right.
And after going there, my thought was, I have so enjoyed being at Rhema, going through the Bible Training Center. I've learned a lot. And I said, but I would like to work for Kenneth Copeland because I've always just kind of heard the mix. Almost when you hear about one, you hear about the other.
Yes, sir.
And so at any rate, it was just kind of a dream in my heart to be able to work, to go and be trained at Brother Hagin's ministry, yet to come and work for Kenneth Copeland Ministries.
Oh, wow.
And so, about 15 years ago, I ended up
You've been here that long?
15 years.
Oh, my
I
goodness,
say 17 because it took 2 years for them to decide if they wanted me or not. They did.
And I think it bears mentioning here, Dr. Irby, that just like the network, just like the Believer's Voice of Network, Victory Network, we are not in competition with anybody.
No.
We're not in competition. This Bible college is not in competition with anybody, just like the network is not, because there are a lot of people that need to be educated, and one or two Bible colleges can't do it all.
Exactly. Just like one or two churches.
Right.
We could build one on almost in every street, and there would still be people that could fill them up.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Talk about your 15 years here. How much fun have you had?
Let me just tell you, I've had a great time here in these 15 years. I've been mostly affiliated with the church side, with Eagle Mountain Church.
Correct.
I've had the opportunity to come on and develop our Believers Institute, which I mentioned earlier.
Sure.
And this is where we offer classes, really growing people up, but really our congregation and extending to the community. And on just topics, developing topics like everything from parenting to, we've had fitness classes in addition to the book of Romans and integrity of the word to even one class we did a handgun class,
Oh my.
So we really believe in Believers Institute, training you spirit, soul, and body finances, all of that.
Yeah.
And so I had the opportunity to develop that, and it's going very well. We have every Wednesday night, and just for those of you watching, every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock, we have our Believers Institute with great topics and great speakers, so you'll want to avail yourselves to that either on Believers Voice of Victory Network or also on Eagle Mountain International Church at our website, emic.org. But that's been going so well, and I've enjoyed it so much. But you know what? It's kind of like I reached a plateau, and it was like, okay, so what's next? I knew it wasn't time for me to leave,
right.
But it's like, what's the next thing? And the Lord just worked that whole thing out where Bible school came to the fruition, and they're like, and we want you to build it. I'm like, I could do that because I could do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
And I got about a minute left, but one thing I have to mention here is something you get to do at the church, and something we've seen this week is being on the platform, helping lead in worship, and you really have a good time doing that, don't you?
That's the one time that I really come alive. Being an educator, and I like I said, I was an educator for years and years. I tend to come across a little stiff,
sure.
And kind of polished and professional. But boy, you put a mic in my hand and let's say praise and worship the Lord. Zoom, that's the one time I come alive.
You do, and you have so much fun, but you engage the congregation.
Because that's what it's about. It's not about talent as much as it is about really helping people to enter into the presence of the Lord through worship. So I do enjoy that part too. So I'm going to build Bible college, but I'm going to still sing and play.
We've had the website up there for you throughout this time together for you to get on the website and find out more about this. Dr. Irby, thank you.
Thank you so much, Tim, for having me.
I know you got so much going on this week. I appreciate you taking
Right now, I'm thinking about the words to the song I'm going to have to sing.
Well, maybe I'll let you go and do that.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Fun. Thank you,
it's
sir.
Been a pleasure.
Thank you. You're going to really enjoy learning from this man in that Bible college, so you want to make sure you're a part of that. Well, I hear Greg Stevens is somewhere else here in the exhibit hall, so let's find out where he is. And I hear he's got something very interesting to show you. Greg?
Tim, we're over in the exhibit hall, and this is Brother Copeland's 1973 Buick. You've heard the stories about the tape decks in the back and how they would travel everywhere. Come around here, I want to show you something very interesting with the estate wagon. Look what I found inside.
I'm so glad that we don't drive it around in this car anymore, but I was grateful for it at the time, or at least that's all I knew. But we had fun in this car.
Kelly Copeland, everybody.
A long time since I sat in that back seat.
What do you remember about this?
Well, apart from the lovely yellow color, I remember driving trips in this car, and we took it to Arkansas a lot, as a family. We took it on the road for the ministry, kind of all-purpose, family car, ministry car. And let's see, I remember riding back here with the seat down and a bed made in the back. You didn't have laws about seat belts, I don't ever remember using a seat belt in this car. But we rode in the back, and I don't know, I just have this memory of laying in the back seat, driving to Arkansas, listening to Dolly Parton sing Jolene. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but please don't take my man. I just remember being a kid in the back seat. I guess I didn't understand that song, but I remember sitting in this seat, going to the movies in Arkansas. We had the little speaker hanging in the back. I mean, it's not that those were that common back then. I'm not that old, but.
So you and John, would you fight over the
John and I fought over everything, so I'm quite sure we did, because we fought over literally everything. I mean, we were the only companions each other had. We go on trips. It was us, me and him. So yeah, I'm sure we did.
You go from meeting to meeting and
then in the ministry life, I always really never have had until I was older like a job that you work 4 or 5 days a week, and then you have a weekend off. I still don't really know what that's like. I work 4 or 5 days a week, but I don't really know that I get a weekend off that often, because you're always like thinking about ministry, thinking about it never stops. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Life with Jesus never stops. My parents don't go on vacation and then they don't read the Word, and they don't be with Jesus, and they don't study, and they don't talk about the Lord. They don't talk about the partners, pray for the partners. That's just our life is ministry. And so we would go on vacation to Arkansas. And literally, we might be there 2 weeks if we had 2 weeks off. But we would work. Not me. They would work, and we would go. Meeting, ministry, preach. And then we'd have 2 weeks off to be together and be a family and rest and stuff. So we would drive to Arkansas on this. So I don't know why most of my memories have to do with Arkansas. And I can't tell you why, but I guess that was what I captured was our family time. Our family time. So
that's important, isn't it, for ministers to remember that?
It is. You have to take time to connect with your family. God never asked you to give your family away to be in ministry. I heard this story one time. I hope it's not true, but these people were missionaries, and they had children. They had gotten them grown. They're deciding they're going to wherever, and she comes up pregnant and wanted to give it up for adoption so they could go on and do their ministry. I mean, if you can't be faithful to your ministry that is amongst you, your children, you're not worth much for real ministry. My parents have been so faithful to their family, so faithful to love and forgive. I mean, last night all the family was on the stage, and you'd love it to be a perfect picture of perfection. But it was my 6-year-old daughter that decided to, lay all over the floor and crawl, lift her dress, and be the center of attention. Now, that is, I don't know, inborn in a ministry family, or the tools and the personality and the gifts and all that to do what we do. I love this. I said, Emily, we were talking, I'm like, everybody wants to be the center of attention. She goes, I didn't want to be the center of attention. I just wanted to make everybody laugh. I'm like, pretty much the same thing. I said, but, you have to put the attention on Jesus. And I said, when you take that for yourself, you steal from everybody else. You steal from the Lord. You steal from Mimi and Papa. And so it's a learning. I was taught those things, and mostly teaching by making a mess, when you need to learn something.
What I love is your family has exemplified it. Even last night, what you're talking about, it's real people in real life. And I want to thank you for sharing your mom and dad with all of us. And I'm speaking on behalf of the partners. Any last little stories?
Okay, this is my favorite story about this car. Now, we were teenagers in this car. Well, we had this car a long time, right? So my brother was driving. I was a teenager. He was not old enough to drive. But we were in Arkansas driving down the country. It wasn't even a road. It was part of our property, dirt road. John says, I'm going to drive with my eyes closed. I wasn't paying any attention. And I certainly didn't think he was going to drive with his eyes closed. But the next thing I know, we're hitting a tree.
In this car?
In this car, because he was driving with his eyes closed. So there you go.
That's not driving by faith.
No, that's our perfect family for you. But, I love us. I love our mess ups. I love our humanity. And I love it that my parents never tried to hide our humanity, or even you get preached about and what you do wrong, but they're not ashamed of us, and Jesus is not ashamed of us. And even this car, this car is a piece of history because it was building our life, building our ministry. But building our lives is one moment at a time, one correction of your children at a time, one correction from the Lord Jesus at a time, and we just come before Him. Why are you making me cry this morning?
You're making me cry.
I love His grace. I love His grace.
And no shame.
For a 6-year-old. I love the grace of the people for a 6-year-old last night, or for a mom, that was like, Emily, But afterwards, just sitting and talking with her, that's what the Lord does with us. And I love that. I love being a part of this family and part of this ministry and a part of partners who love you.
Well, on behalf of all the partners, we love you and we love your family. Amen. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you. Thank you. Back to you.
Well, I will certainly echo what Greg just said. We all love Kelly. She is really, really wonderful, and I've had the pleasure of knowing her for many years. And another man that I've had the pleasure of knowing for many years is my next guest. He is the director of our European office, Kenneth Copeland Ministries, Martin Hawkins. How are you, sir?
Tim, I'm well and blessed, and it's great to be here.
It's great to have you here.
Thank you.
For those that don't know about our European, tell people a little bit about our office over there and what all it does.
Yeah, well, our office in Europe is 35 years old this year, so we're celebrating our own anniversary as well. And so we're blessed. We're based in the city of Bath, which is 100 miles west of London on a straight line. And it's a very old city. It was founded originally by the Romans, and it's popular with tourists and visitors from all over the world. But the KCM office has been based there for the whole of our history in Europe, and we look after the UK and all of the nations of Europe. And some other nations as well. It's a blessing to do what we do, to represent the ministry there, to have contact with our partners and our friends. And the Lord is good, and there's many, many good things happening. So we praise God for that.
Now, how long were you a partner with the ministry before you became the director of that office?
Well, it was actually a relatively short time. I think it was just 2 to 3 years, actually.
Wow.
So, I remember the first Believers Convention I went to in Birmingham. I believe it was in 1986.
Okay.
And it was a convention just like this one, a 6-day meeting with all of the speakers. And
you still remember that?
I still remember it because it made such an impact on me. I had not experienced the level of faith and the style of worship and preaching and teaching from morning till night. I'd never been to an event like that. I was actually volunteering and helping there, and it was such a wonderful experience. I think it was a turning point for me in my own relationship with the Lord. It was a sense of, there's so much more to the Christian faith than what I've experienced up until this point. So it was so wonderful to be involved in that. And then a few years later, I had the opportunity to apply for a job with the ministry, and that's how I came on staff.
Were you on staff before you became the director?
Yes, I was. For 4 years, I was doing an accounting position.
Oh my goodness!
And so I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And,
So you worked under Kim Freeborn, who was our previous director.
I did.
Wonderful, lovely man.
Absolutely.
And so you learned under him.
I did. Yeah, I did. Yeah, and he helped to school me and train me for taking his position when he moved on to do the next thing that the Lord called him to. So I've been the director there now for 16 years.
Oh, Martin.
So it's such a blessing.
Yeah, and really, that office never skipped a beat. Kim Freeborn and Jean did such a great job with that office over there, and when you took over, it was seamless.
Amen.
And it's been that way ever since. In the 16 years that you've been the director of that office, what are some of the things that have stood out to you about what the Lord has done through that office and in that country?
Well, I think the first thing for me, it's the faithfulness of our partners. People are amazing when they get touched by the message that this ministry teaches. And I think, the prayers that our partners pray, the financial seeds that they sow into the ministry, the testimonies that they send us. We have a board up in the office where every Monday morning we wipe it clean from the previous week, and then as testimonies come in during the week, we write them up there. There's
that's really
people's
good.
healings or relationships that have been blessed and encouraged, financial provision that's come, children that have gone a bit wayward have just come back to where their parents want them to be. So, that's one small thing, really, the faithfulness of our partners and the love that they show towards us. We've got some partners that pray for us every day. And you think, that's amazing that they would be so motivated and so provoked to pray for the ministry and its staff, both in Europe and all around the world as well.
Yeah.
And I think, the opportunities that we've had to minister into different countries, we have a German wing of the ministry in Europe, German language wing, and we have the Believers Voice of Victory program available in German, also the magazine, and Brother Copeland's partner letter. So that's reaching people in Germany and Austria and Switzerland and far beyond, I believe, as well.
Yeah.
And so, that's a blessing to do that. And events, of course. Kenneth and Gloria have come to Europe over the years. Also Pastor George and Terry Pearson's, Jeremy and Sarah have been, Kelly's been.
Yeah.
So we're blessed to have had all the different family members over the years. And of course you've been as well,
I have,
Tim.
yes, sir.
You've come, you've had some adventures
Yes,
while you've
sir.
been there.
Yes, sir, we have. And we've done some of that together.
Absolutely. It's
You know,
been
Brother
great.
Copeland this morning shared in the morning service about some of the outreaches that we're involved in, the Twice Sown Seed. You saw a video that talks about the Twice Sown Seed, ministries that we support that are out in the field. Talk about maybe one or two of those ministries that your office supports in that country.
Sure. Well, we have a great ministry up in the valleys of South Wales, which used to be a former coal mining area. Of course, all that big industry has moved out now, but it's a fairly needy area socially. And this ministry, a sports-based ministry, working with kids aged 11 through to 18, and they go into local schools and they get involved in working with the kids on sports activities and sharing the gospel with them.
Yeah.
And they run summer camps for them, and they've done amazing things in really community transformation with the gospel.
Yeah.
Is what they're about. We have another ministry in the Netherlands, or Holland as some people refer to it, which is a Bible school and a church-based ministry. They work with people who are needy in their community. So that's another ministry that we're connected with. And then we also work with a ministry in Romania that works with gypsies, people in need. They also run summer camps for young people there. The pastor there has a couple of churches.
That's
and
wonderful.
so, yeah, there's a whole variety of them, Tim. And
How many countries does that office service?
Well, I think we're between 25 and 30 countries.
Oh, my
altogether.
goodness.
So, yeah, and of course, a lot of those countries speak their own language.
Right.
So, you know, most of what we do is in the English language, but we also minister in German and French. And, you know, it's our desire to be able to reach more and more language groups as we get the opportunity to.
Well, we're going to have to get that million partners.
Yeah, we are, Tim, absolutely. And I believe the Lord has a plan for us to be able to do that.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I agree. Roughly how many partners does your office serve?
We have 13,000 partners that we
my,
serve.
that's wonderful.
Yeah, so it's great. And you know, that number's growing all the time.
Yes.
Absolutely. And we've got some really long-standing faithful partners, and some people that would have just become partners last week.
Right.
But you know, however long they've been with the ministry, we love them all. We appreciate their prayers and their connection with us.
And you mentioned a moment ago that, you know, we love our partners so much, and they're such lovely. The ones that have been with us for a long time, and even those that have not been with us very long, they're just such quality, loving people, aren't they?
They are. And you know, I think that's because of the message that Kenneth and Gloria teach. You know, we teach a really in-depth message of faith. It's not for the faint-hearted or the light-hearted or those who are not particularly, or those who might be a bit more casual about their faith. That's not what KCM is about. We preach a strong word of faith in God and how the Lord wants to bless people and do good things in their lives. And I think, you know, those qualities then are reflected in our partners.
Yeah.
Because the message they're receiving, the teaching they're hearing, they're applying it in their lives. And then part of the fruit of that is just the amazing partnership relationship that they have with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Congratulations on 35 years.
Thank you,
at
Tim.
that office.
Yeah.
And that one, Canada has just celebrated, I think, 40 years.
40 years, that's right.
We have been in all these countries for a long time, and we're also still young.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And you know, Brother Copeland is full of energy,
younger
full
than
of
all
faith.
of us.
He continues to set an amazing pace.
He sure does.
We're running hard to keep up with him, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. We have to have lots of energy drinks to keep up with Brother Copeland. Thank you, my friend, for doing this. And thank you for your service to Kenneth Copeland Ministries. What a lovely man.
Amen.
I really love this man. He's a wonderful man. And, you know, if you're a partner with this ministry and you're serviced by that office, you now know that how much you're loved. We just love you as a partner, and we appreciate all you're doing. Now, we're about to get into Pastor Terry's pre-service prayer. We want to remind you that tomorrow morning is Healing School. This program will be on the air 30 minutes later than it has been all week. So we'll be on the air at 8:30 in the morning Central Time instead of 8 o'clock. So make sure you make note of that and be on the air with us tomorrow morning. We've got a really good guest. You don't want to miss that tomorrow morning. God bless you, everybody. Thanks for being with us. Tonight, Brother Copeland is our guest speaker, our special speaker, our featured speaker. God bless you. We'll see you in a little while.